Before you go into entrepreneurship, you have to think about a lot. For me, I didn't have the luxury to think about it. My own journey was fraught with challenges at the early stages. Once I had finished my PhD, I was like, okay, I've achieved the pinnacle of academic pursuit. I started applying for jobs and I was getting rejected left, right, center. Luckily for me, one of the recruiters called me and asked him, what is the issue? And he says, that was the day I decided I was not applying for any jobs anymore.
What do you think got you through those grueling seasons in the beginning? And how has that helped the journey so far?
When you have that mindset that there's no other alternative, then there's only one thing in your path. Social media has just ruined everything for us.
Really,
Everybody wants to main character energy all the time. They'll show you a day in the life of this person, a day in the life of that person. But that person is showing you the best parts.
Yeah.
So the first thing to do is...
Hello family, and welcome back to today's episode of Building Your Better You, a space where we stop surviving and start growing intentionally, a space where we embrace growth to be our lifestyle. If that sounds like you and you want to rise above autopilot and embrace the version of you that is waiting to shine, then this podcast is for you. And I'm sure this episode will deposit in you mindset shifts, strategies, and lessons that you can apply and take along on your journey of building a better you. Let's get right into it, shall we?
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Building Your Better You podcast, a space where we embrace growth as our lifestyle and we share stories with different individuals who have embraced that journey as well. And I hope this episode you leave with insight, strategies on how you can build your better you. In today's episode, we have another special guest. We have Rotimi of Arab Microfluidics here with us today. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for coming on this podcast. How are you?
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So for people who don't know you, who is Rotimi?
I'm Dr. Rotimi Alabi. I am the founder and managing director of a company called Arab Microfluidics. I am a father, I am a husband, and I'm a child of God.
Hallelujah. I'm going to ask you a couple of icebreaker questions.
Okay.
What's your favorite pet topic? If some people can talk about anything all day, in what area would you pick?
I've never thought about that.
You know?
Well, thinking about it a little bit now, I like the subject of finance. I like to understand finance. Not that I know a lot about it, but I like to talk about it. I like to talk about anything that is new technology that's changing the way we live our lives, that's shaping the world, subjects like that. I like politics too.
Okay.
And football.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. I like it. But finance, definitely. And what has brought you joy this week?
This week has been a very interesting one. Has been tough actually.
Okay.
But what has brought me joy is when I play with my son. He's 19 months old, so when I play with him, it's just lovely.
Yeah, forgot all the worries. Amazing. And would you happen to have a favorite quote that you always, or a quote in this season that you are replaying?
There's a quote by Steve Jobs that says, you can't connect the dots looking backwards. You just have to believe in something and hopefully the dots connect in your future. I think I'm paraphrasing it, but I think that's what the quote says. But what that tells you really is you have to have a sense of belief or a strong belief in something.
Yeah.
There has to be a foundation to you. There has to be a purpose to you.
Yeah.
Where you know that belief in what you're doing will add up in the future.
Yeah.
Because you are walking towards a desired end.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to connect the dots in the past when you cannot do that.
Yeah, that is so interesting. You're right, because someone actually made the same statement.
Oh.
They use the same quote. But I really love, that was the first time I heard it. This is, I guess, the second time I'm hearing it. But yeah, when you think that it's not all aligning, it's only in retrospect that you can actually connect the dots, which we're going to get into because I think you've had varying experiences that I don't know if you thought you'd be where you are today, if you always knew, or, some people think I know that I'm going to be a CEO. I know I'm going to be a doctor in this. I know this is what I'm going to, did you always know that? Or do you feel like you've just kind of moved with the waves of life?
I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Because I loved the idea of entrepreneurship. I loved being a producer.
Okay.
It started very young. I started watching The Apprentice.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I started with Donald Trump's Apprentice, actually.
Okay.
And watching the guys start with an idea and try to create something and then monetize it, I was like, this is intriguing. I think I want to be in that space. So the first business plan I wrote, I gave it to my dad. I told him to fund it, and he looked at me and was like, you're crazy.
Oh my goodness.
And obviously he did not fund it.
It was the audacity though.
But I knew that, right, this is something I wanted to do. I didn't know how to go about it though. And I went through academia like any Nigerian would go. So you go through university. I did my master's, I did my PhD. And once I completed my PhD, I was like, okay, maybe this is the point to start. And I started.
Okay. So when someone thinks of entrepreneurship, or when I think of entrepreneurship, I'd feel like it's either I take uni away or I just stop at like my bachelor's or stop at master's, definitely not PhD level. So like, what did you have in mind then if you knew that I always want to be an entrepreneur, but I'm still gonna like keep pursuing education at such a high level?
So I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but the tradition in Nigeria is that you go work for someone.
Yeah.
So that is the path that I was on. And that path led me to the PhD because my mom wanted me to be a medical doctor.
Okay.
And that didn't work out.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
Many of us are that boat.
So I always wanted to be a petroleum engineer.
Okay.
In terms of profession.
Right.
So as I was moving away from medicine into engineering or into the engineering space, into science really, I was like, okay, I've gone far away. I started in microbiology and I was like, I'm far away from petroleum engineering. How do I find that route back? So I did environmental management as my master's and I did geoscience, geochemistry as my PhD. That was just my navigating my route back into petroleum engineering or the petroleum space. And once I did geochemistry, I then developed a technology. I was like, this technology can actually revolutionize the way people analyze lubricating oil. So it can automate that process of lubricating oil analysis. And I was like, rather than go and work for someone, why don't I just create an enterprise here and try and solve this problem? And that was the problem I decided to solve.
That is so good. That is so good. So you did microbiology first. Yes. When you were at that point, were you always thinking I need to connect back to petroleum, or were you just like, let me just finish and take it one day at a time?
I was a clueless 19-year-old.
Yeah, because I feel like at that age or now, especially with social media, there's a lot of pressure to get it right then. I mean, of course, get it right as soon as you can. But 18, 19, 20 or early 20s even, looking back, do you feel like you were so young then and there's like, you didn't know much? Or do you feel like, oh, I would have gone down that route quicker? Does that make sense?
You see that in hindsight.
Connecting the dots backwards.
When you're young, when you're 18, 19 years old, you think you know everything.
Yes.
You actually think you know more than everybody around you. But you don't have a clue. But I knew that microbiology was not the way for me. I didn't like the lab coats in the labs. I didn't see myself in that space.
Okay.
And there was a chat I was having with my uncle and my mom at the time. And my uncle said, you're going to end up a lecturer. I was like, definitely not.
No. We're not doing that.
So I was like, okay, right, I have to find a way out of this. If I did microbiology in the UK, it might have been different.
Okay.
Because the experience will have been different.
Okay.
Now, if you look at microbiology and look at the end goal of microbiology in the UK, you can end up in big pharma. You can end up in drug discovery. You can end up in those kind of things that can be entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, you didn't have that mindset. You just felt, okay, I'm going to learn this and I'm going to just parrot it back to someone else as a lecturer. Right. And that was not working for me at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so interesting. So when you then got to the point of, okay, I found this problem that I can potentially solve, was that an easy clarification of mind, if that makes sense? Like, or was there steps to that in terms of, okay, I could actually do something with this, or this is definitely, like, we're going to buy into this, if that makes sense? Because some people feel that there's not much I can monetize. People say there are problems everywhere, but I can't see it. Like, where's the problem? I don't know. Like, so what was your state of mind then where you were like, actually, I think I've hit something? Or did it take you a long time to realize that maybe this could be a gold mine of just,
During my PhD research, the technology was trying to do something interesting that might PhD supervisor was keen on at the
Okay.
time. So he was like, right, my PhD supervisor is a nerd.
Right.
So he was like, I like this new technology. I want to be able to do new things with it.
Okay.
So he brought me on as a PhD student to take on the development.
Right.
So I saw what he had done and I was like, right, rather than do it in this way, what he had done really was try and miniaturize the way you analyze petroleum fluids.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, instead of stopping there, why don't I just wrap around sensors around this and then create a complete tool that can do the analysis there and there. And I came to that point during one of the experiments I was doing in the labs, probably maybe around 11 p.m. at night. I was in the labs, and there was this piece of work I was doing for almost 8 months that I didn't get any results. Everything was just no, wrong. And one day it just happened. And as it happened, I was just like, wow, I have discounted all of the ways it cannot work, and now I'm left with the way it can work. So I was like, at that point, if I put all of these sensors around and productize this, I can take this technology into field industrial application.
Right. Okay.
So it crystallized in my mind that, okay, this is what I needed to do.
Okay.
But I didn't know what industry to apply it first.
Okay.
Naturally, because I was in the petroleum scene, I felt that, okay, maybe the direct application will be oil and gas.
Okay.
So I started speaking to a mentor of mine who worked in Schlumberger, and it's like, you can't go toe-to-toe with Schlumberger in this. Schlumberger are doing something related in this field.
Right.
And you can't compete there. And I was like, that's true. I cannot.
Right.
So let's find something
Somewhere
else.
Okay.
So I started researching into other applications, and I
Okay.
then found lubricating oil analysis. Now, lubricating oil analysis is interesting because if you think about rotating equipment, mechanical rotating equipment, almost all of them are lubricated, apart from the electric motors we have nowadays.
Right.
So you have generator sets, you have diesel engines, you have wind turbines, you have gas turbines. They're all lubricated. And the lubricating oil is more or less the lifeblood in
Right.
those equipment.
Okay.
Where if something is happening mechanically to the equipment, it is indicated in the oil.
Right,
There are
okay.
telltale signs.
Okay.
It's analogous to your bloodstream, to the blood in your
Right.
in your veins. Where if doctor wanted to find anything wrong with you, say take a blood sample, send it to a lab, they'll do the analysis. That's exactly what they do
Right.
with lubricating oil in heavy rotating equipment.
Right. Okay.
They send it to a laboratory, a stationary
Right.
laboratory.
Okay.
And I was like, we have miniaturized the laboratory here.
Okay.
Let us deliver the laboratory to the equipment.
To them,
so
right.
you don't send
Oh, I see.
that lubricant away from the equipment. So you do it at point of need. And I was like, okay, that's the problem we're going to solve. It is a big enough market.
Okay.
It is a global market.
Okay.
There are many industries. You have aerospace and defense, processing and manufacturing, power generation, maritime. Many
Right.
industries that use lubricated rotating equipment. In fact, you won't have light in this room if you don't have lubricated equipment
Okay.
to power our lives. So I found, okay, that's where I'm going to focus on. And every other thing was education throughout the process. You
Right.
had to educate yourself and doing the process.
Okay. So would you say the identification of the problem and being convinced of your market is important before you even, I guess, commit to the journey?
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
that's where you start.
Okay.
So the first thing to do is find a problem. You mentioned earlier on that people say they're not seeing problems.
Yeah. How do you convince yourself that I've found a problem? Voila.
I think many people think about, oh, I'm looking for a problem as something you want to find something that's significantly large
Yeah.
and
Revolutionary.
it's obvious. No, it doesn't
Okay.
have to be obvious.
Okay.
What you're looking for really is inefficiencies
Right.
or challenges.
Okay.
Now, when you change the definition of these things, then you start to look at it in a different way.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at an inefficiency, for instance, I was talking about earlier on before we got on camera about something I was interested in.
Yes.
Within pharmacy, you told me that there are many admin tasks
Yeah.
that pharmacists do that create inefficiencies, that slow processes down. What if you automate that?
Right. Okay.
That's a problem you're solving for
Okay.
someone.
Okay.
If you find a way to automate that, you take away that challenge and then you deliver a solution.
Right.
That's an example.
Okay. Okay. So being able to, I guess, think innovatively as to how you are dealing with inefficiencies
Yes.
around. And there's always going to be.
I try and avoid using buzzwords like thinking innovative.
Okay.
Because it can start to
Be
someone,
too big.
someone
Okay.
can say, oh, this is too technical
Yeah,
now. It's
okay.
like, no, something is not done right. You want it to be done right. What's the most efficient way to do it right? That's what you do. Solve that problem.
So that's really the ABC of where business really starts from entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Like, did you have the monetary mindset when you were thinking about this in terms of, finding the solution, or were you committed more to dealing with the solution? Because some people might say, okay, I don't know how much money is going to bring me. Like, I'd rather just go into where they're going to give me a salary, or where I know that if I input 8 hours, I'm going to get out such and such amount. How should one balance that mindset of, is it going to be productive versus, or is the fulfillment from just solving the solution? Do you think there's only a certain type of people in that?
Before you go into entrepreneurship, you have to think about a lot. For me, I didn't have the luxury to think about a lot. My own journey was fraught with challenges at the early stages. So, as a Nigerian in the UK, you start with student visa. Once I had finished my PhD, my visa ran up till, this was back in 2015, and I did my graduation in 2016. So my visa ran up till 30th of November 2016. And when I finished my PhD, I was like, okay, I've achieved the pinnacle of academic pursuit. So I should be attractive to any employer. I started applying for jobs and I was getting rejected left, right, center. And I was like, it gets frustrating when you apply for a lot of jobs and you're getting rejected. When you think that you are the business. Luckily for me, one of the recruiters called me to just look at my CV, look at my position and what it is what I was looking for. And I asked him, I've been applying and I get to this stage and I'm not making headway. What is the issue? I said, just be frank with me. Don't give me all of those politically correct bullshit. Just tell me
what it is.
And he says, to be frank, you have the same level of experience and degree that many other people have that don't require sponsorship.
Right. Okay.
So what was my stumbling block was the fact that I required sponsorship. That was the day I decided I was not applying for any jobs anymore. I was like, okay, this is the chance to pursue what I want to do, entrepreneurship. And when you don't have a job, you're in debt. I had credit card debt. So my back was against the wall. I had, from when he told me to when my visa was expiring, was about 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
That I had. But I determined in my mind that I was going to start the enterprise. So I started it and was trying to look for the best way to get things off the ground.
Right.
Going out there, speaking to people, I spoke a lot about my issues to a lot of people. I did not hide my issues.
Let me tell you.
I am trying to do this fantastic thing, but I am struggling. I told a lot of people. So in that process, someone said, okay, I should speak to an immigration lawyer. I spoke to an immigration lawyer. The immigration lawyer said, right, you have no choices here, mister.
Oh, wow.
I could go the entrepreneurship path, but I needed £100,000 invested in the business. The business was maybe around, by the time I spoke to the immigration lawyer, I had like 30 days left. So the business, and I registered the business on the 1st of August, 2016. So we're talking about 3 months in. So there was no way I could get £100,000. He said, okay, the last thing we can do is apply for a visa category that I was 100%, maybe 99% guaranteed, 99.9% guaranteed not to get the visa.
Wow.
So it was a sure banker that I was not getting the visa.
Right.
But it bought me time.
Okay.
Because that visa category, they don't look at the applications for a long time.
Oh, I see.
So if they don't look at the visa category and if the Home Office have not given you a decision on your visa application, you're still on your current visa status. That is the way the UK looks at you. We applied to that. And something in me was trying to force their hands to make a decision. So I contacted the local MP here and all of that. In hindsight, that was a stupid move.
Like, I'm buying time.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be buying time. Yeah, I want them to make a decision.
Yeah, okay.
So the local MP wrote a letter to the Home Office and they were like, yeah, this is not an extreme circumstance. We are not going to change our process for this particular guy. So that gave me time to build the company to the point where I was now able to get investment of £100,000. I cancelled that visa application, applied for tier 2 visa application, got a tier 2 visa application, then finally went on an entrepreneurship visa application. So when you look at that long path, for me, I didn't have money. I started the company. For the first 10 months, I wasn't paid. I was living hand to mouth.
Yeah.
I was in debt. I think I was in credit card debt of about £6,000. I think in December I told my landlady that I couldn't pay her rent anymore, that I had to leave. And she said she was fantastic, really. And she allowed me stay owing her rent because I'd been with her for almost 4 years to that point. She allowed me stay till the point I could get on my feet and all of that. So I wasn't thinking about the money. I was thinking about, there is a solution we have created. We have identified that there is a problem. We want to solve that problem, or I wanted to solve that problem. And if you solve a big enough, valuable enough problem, you will get paid. Yeah. You still have to think about the fact that no entrepreneur really does this because they are just altruistic. Yeah. They really want to solve a problem but get paid while doing that. But as a byproduct of trying to solve a problem for someone, you will get paid in the end. You get compensated in the end. And that was my story.
That's so interesting. There's a book I was reading, I think it's Business Secrets from the Bible, and it talks about this where, like, you know, in service to other people, like, God rewards that, because as human beings, we all have different skill sets, different ideas and stuff. So when you're applying that, like you said, being a producer and not just a consumer, the byproduct of life and the way the earth is set up, like for it to be where it is today, creation and innovation had to happen, and the byproduct of that is money. So chasing that instead of money is the sure banker of creating money, but chasing money at the expense of providing value is probably a lot more risky.
I do think there's a place for all of these things. There's a place for consumption. There's a place for production. There is a place for pursuing money. And sometimes it's not necessarily entrepreneurship that gives you the money you're looking at. If you're looking at immediate, I want to be paid.
Yeah, of course.
You can go get a 9-to-5, you'll get paid immediately. You can do other things that start to pay you immediately. But when you have a producer mindset, a 9-to-5 does not do it for you.
No.
A consumer mindset does not work at that point. You're not aligned. So you want to create something, and in creating something that has value to someone, you will then end up monetizing it at some point. And if the value is big enough, if the market is big enough, if the pain is deep enough, the reward will be greater.
I see.
So the amount of money you then tend to make becomes more significant.
Right.
Look at all of the stories, all of the successful billionaires, all of the successful entrepreneurs. Let's look at Amazon. He produced what we didn't know we needed. But then we cannot live without Amazon right now. Amazon employs hundreds of thousands of people. That's because of the kind of value that they are providing. Jeff Bezos is one of the richest men in the world. And that is because he found a big enough problem to solve. You want to be able to create value, you definitely have to start somewhere. Sometimes people think, oh, I want to take on the world. You can't take on the world from your tiny space immediately. You have to go on a journey. There is a process to doing it. You have to pay your dues. So the fact that you're paying your dues is you're learning along the way for you to then be more significant in the kind of value you deliver.
So interesting. So going back to your story then in the beginning, firstly, was that the first time you were trying to do entrepreneurship?
Yeah,
Create
apart from the
something?
story from my dad when I asked him to give me money with my first business plan, and that was my first time.
Okay, and it reminds me of this quote of like necessity is the mother of invention. Like when the need pushes you, like you said, against the wall, you cannot help but come up with a solution and put all your eggs in it. What was your mindset then? What do you think got you through those grueling seasons of in the beginning, and how has that helped the journey so far?
I think nothing great was created from a position of comfort. You just are not hungry enough.
That is so key.
It is when you're very hungry that you know that there's motivation, there's inspiration, there's drive. And you just want to get up and do it. And you don't see stumbling blocks.
Yeah.
But when you're in a position of comfort, you're like, will it work? Will it not work?
Yeah.
You don't start second guessing things.
Right.
I didn't have the luxury to second guess anything.
It had to work.
It had to work.
There was
only plan A.
Yeah.
There was no other alternative.
Right.
When you have that mindset that there's no other alternative, then there's only one thing in your path. And it's either you go around it, go over it, or go through it.
Yeah, there has to be a way around it. Say if you're in a position, like you said, of comfort, where you're earning and you're getting your money and you're trying to build an enterprise, trying to build a business, or do whatever really. Because some people say, okay, do this on the side till you're able to, make the side the main. But do you think that having the comfort of the main doesn't allow you to put in every sweat, tears, and blood into the side?
I get the question, but I don't understand the concept of a side hustle.
Yeah, I agree. That's a whole nother conversation. Okay.
The reason why I don't understand the concept of a side hustle is maybe for me, I don't know how to multitask.
Okay.
I'm all in.
Okay.
If I pick something to do, that's it. Focusing on it. Now, don't get me wrong. Side hustle is different from diversifying.
That's a succinct way to put it.
So you can have something as a side hustle. I'm playing with this thing to see, okay, can it get me one or two? But when you want to diversify your skill set, your finances, what you know, you're intentional about it. It's not necessarily a side hustle because you're not only going wide, you're going deep.
Yeah.
You can have multiple skill sets that are not necessarily side hustles. They are just you diversifying because you have found a way to use the time of day, the 24 hours you have in a day, to go deep and become an expert in certain areas that can potentially generate you income. As opposed to saying, all right, that's a side hustle for me. So I don't really get the concept of side hustles. I believe everybody should be intentional. If you want to do something, be intentional about it. You're going to learn it. You're going to be an expert in it. And if that thing creates wealth for you, that is fine. That is another stream of income. You cannot just rely on one stream of income.
No.
I don't think in this day and age you can rely on one stream of income.
Yeah, but then creating multiple streams of income is not creating multiple streams of side hustles.
No.
It's diversifying
And being intentional.
and being intentional. Everyone talks about multiple streams of income these days, but I think a lot of people have run with it as multiple side hustles, where you are here in the morning and your day job, you're doing another thing in the evening that you're not, is like you said, it's just a side hustle, and it's only going to take side persistence, side consistency. So I guess that's where necessity or discomfort then comes in to push you beyond that point. But how many of us would be comfortable with being uncomfortable? Or if life has to make you uncomfortable. Does that make sense? I feel like
Life will make you uncomfortable, first thing first.
yes.
We live in a world of chaos. It's entropy. What we are trying to do on a daily basis is bring order to the place. Is to make everything in an orderly fashion.
Yeah.
It is just chaotic. Human beings are not disposed to trying to work hard.
Yeah.
Our natural state is to just lazy about. That is our natural state.
Enjoy the life.
So it takes effort
Yeah.
to want to work hard. So when I talk about discomfort and I say nothing great was built from a place of comfort, you have to think about it more deeply and say, if I wanted to achieve something, if I wanted to be an A student and I don't have that natural gift, I don't have an IQ of maybe 180, you have to put in the work. You have to burn the midnight oil to get to where you want to get to. That is effort you putting in because you know you want to get to a desired end. That is you putting yourself in discomfort when your natural state is just for you to just stay about and just lazy about and just dumb scroll on social media. If you think about it that way, that you have to put in effort to create value, to be a producer, to create orderliness, then it starts to motivate you in a way that you're like, okay, if I want to get things done, I can't lazy about.
Yeah.
And that's how you start to think of it. There are some times that you get in a place where life has positioned you in a way that you're naturally discomforted in terms of you've lost something. Like something is not going your way, you're not where you want to be.
Or you can't get a job.
Can't get a job at the time. And then at that point, you are now working enterprisingly to achieve a desired end. But when you grow up in Nigeria, you build resilience because nothing works in the country. So you have to create everything yourself. You have to know how to navigate your way through a very challenging landscape.
So do you feel like if you had gotten a job then, you may not have taken the same route?
No. That's the difference. So I told you I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. My initial mindset was I was going to work for a company for 5 years and then start my own enterprise. But the circumstances I found myself meant I had no 5 years. I had to start there and then. So that's the difference.
You've connected the dots now, but would you have preferred that, or do you think that starting early was key to the journey of growth?
I know a lot more now by learning on the job than if I went to work for a company. Because I would have found certain things difficult and I probably would have just changed my mind. I was like, this is not for me anymore. That salary comfort might have just taken over. But when you start your own enterprise and you are the HR director, you are the finance director, you are marketing, you are sales, you are business development, you are product owner, you learn a lot of stuff very quickly and it makes you a well-rounded person.
And in this season of, I guess, crunching, did you feel like you were isolated in terms of, this is my one and only focus, I have to get a result out of this before I'm able to do anything else? Or were you able to balance it with other responsibilities? I was speaking to someone, the reason why I asked this, because we're talking about how, again, going back to putting in, get an excellent result, the people that gain such results are so single-minded and they're so focused on this one thing where every other thing else doesn't matter in the building phase. Did you experience the same thing, or were you able to have some sort of, I can still go out and hang out with my friends, I can still, I don't know, go to the gym, I can still, do you get what I mean?
It depends on your natural disposition. So I told you earlier on that when I'm doing something, I'm all in. Because I liked what I was doing. It excited me. So I found that I naturally gravitated I spent all my time doing that. If I was a more outgoing type, more extroverted type, that I wanted to hang out with my friends, maybe I would have found time to do that. It's what you love doing. You want to spend more time doing it. Because I didn't see it as a chore. Because I didn't see it as a 9 to 5. Because I saw it as a lifestyle. I loved living that lifestyle. And if I spent time with my friends, that was fine. I didn't feel isolated because I have a close-knit family. So I could always rely on my family. And I have a close-knit friend
group. I will get you.
Friend group. So I didn't feel that I was isolated. Sometimes when you're doing all of these things, you want to go out there, see what's happening, come back and still have your space. So it's all about finding that balance. But if you're going into entrepreneurship, you should know that you should be single-minded. You need to be single-minded. If that's the only way you can create greatness.
So how important was passion, I guess, to the journey? Because like you said, if it's something that you're able to live and breathe, then it's easier to take on the bad days, the good days, the middle days.
Absolutely.
Versus if you're trying to push through painfully, I don't want to be here. You know, and I think going back to our conversation about chasing or looking to provide value, when that's your drive, you're able to go the long haul versus I'm just looking to squeeze out money because it's quick. Like you said, the quickest and easiest option is just to go get a job.
Yeah. So let's walk back to how we started this conversation. If you want to really solve a problem, you naturally gravitate to challenges or inefficiencies that matter to you somehow.
Yeah. In one way.
For me, it was, I spent 4 years researching on this and I was like, there should be a better way to solve this problem. So it was already an embodiment of who I am.
So
my
it didn't
PhD
just happen in a day.
No, it didn't happen in a day.
Yeah.
So my PhD was all on that research. I was like, okay, I have this research now. I can solve someone's problem actively and revolutionize the whole industry.
Yeah.
So that was what gave me the fire in my belly. The fact that I was also working from discomfort.
Yeah, but there was something innate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If, for instance, I was going to solve a problem with cancer, for instance, I might not have the same passion.
Yeah.
Because I don't share that line.
Sentiment,
There's exactly that sentiment where, okay, I don't have anybody that has directly suffered from it, or I'm not currently dealing with it. So there's no incentive that way.
Yeah.
But if it's a challenge where you identify with the challenge, there is that thing within you that I want to solve this
really
problem.
want to solve this. Yeah.
And that is where your passion and drive starts to come from. It is not manufactured. It starts to become inbuilt.
Right. That is so good. That is so good. And on, I guess, on the journey so far, what's a lesson? I'm sure there are many. What's one that is being highlighted to you, I guess, daily or frequently or consistently?
There are many, actually. The one that sticks out right now is, don't be afraid to fail. You will fail. It's inevitable. If you're thinking about, oh, what will people say if I fail and all of that, it will happen.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
And have you found that failure has been feedback for you? Or has failure just been, let me just pack this under the carpet and move on to the next thing?
It's a combination. It's a combination.
Yes.
I don't know, it's a movie that I watched that someone said, he was talking to his child, that I know that you can learn from failure, but don't get your degree.
Makes sense.
Don't get your degree by failing all the time.
Yeah.
So you can learn from other people's mistakes. When I started, I wanted to learn from other people's mistakes.
Okay.
Because I was going on a journey I didn't know anything about. So I was trying as much as possible to ensure that the pitfalls other people had experienced, I avoided them.
How do you do that?
Number one, talk to a lot of people.
Talk to people.
Get mentors, get coaches. You mentioned that you have a coach. That's a great thing to do. So people's experiences, people that have gone before you can say, I went through that path. That's a roadblock.
Just don't do it.
Don't go there. Look at this one. So those kind of things help you. But ultimately, because it's your own journey, there are mistakes that you will make. And when you make those mistakes, reflect on those mistakes and say, okay, how will I do it better? And then continue moving.
You mentioned in the beginning, when you were telling us about yourself, that you're a father and you're a child of God. So I'm going to unpack that a little bit. How has being a child of God in this process, how has that fed into the things that you do? Like, does it keep you going? Does it motivate you? Does it change your perspective? How has it influenced the journey of...
That's a deep question.
Yeah.
It's a deep question because we live in a secular world, right? Where you see people that don't have any faith, that don't believe in God, being very successful.
Yeah.
And you're like,
What's going on here?
Am I restricting myself with my own faith? Where I'm not able to do things that they're able to do and then preclude myself from success? Those happens on the bad days.
Yeah.
On the good days, you're like, I couldn't get here without the faith I have. Without the belief system I have. There's no way I could be here. Because there are things that just add up and you're like, I didn't deserve that, but it happened.
Sometimes we're waiting for that. This is what I should do. This is where I should be. Did you have that, I guess, when you started? Or was it a case of you knowing, again, that this problem is getting solved and this is where I'm meant to be based on the bubbling inside my stomach, based on my commitment and passion to this?
It's difficult to be able to say where you have to be at a certain point in time in your life, because the only way you are assessing that is by comparing with people around you. If you are the only person in the world, you feel that you're where you need to be at any point in time.
Yeah.
But when you're comparing, so when you remove comparison with people, you discover that what then matters is the next destination. So for me, it wasn't really an aha. It was, there is a technology. We have now identified a problem. That problem needs to be solved.
So this is the next.
That is where we're going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if, for anybody that's listening that wants to start something, it is, if you have found an inefficiency and you have found a way to address that inefficiency, then go and do it. It's not, you're not waiting for someone to say, right, that is where you have to be. It is, this is my purpose now.
Yeah.
I want to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Once you solve the problem, then you look for a new challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, I think when that then aligns with something that is you're truly committed and passionate about, those are your cues and evidence as to, I guess, purpose and where you should be at that time, like you say, because it varies time on time. But what would you say to someone that is not where they are, or where they feel like they ought to be, to looking forward to where they think they should be? What would you say to them in that waiting season of, I'm not where I want to be, I know where I should be, in quote, but I don't know how to get there, I don't know what to do, what am I, I'm in limbo.
Let's go back to what I said earlier on. Why are you comparing? The reason why you're saying that is where I should be is because you're comparing with something else.
Is it though?
I don't think so. You're comparing with something else.
Okay.
Now, if innately you're thinking, I want to do something else, it's different from I should be here.
Okay. So like, I know that I'm not aligned in where I am now.
Yeah.
It's different from, I think I should be here at 30.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm doing something. I think I've put in the best effort I can put here. I think this one is a wrap.
Yeah, we can round this up.
Yeah.
You feel it. You know it.
Yeah, exactly. You know it. Now it's, what do I need to do next?
Right.
Not where should I be next? What do I need to do next? What do I want to achieve?
Define that.
Yes. If what you want to achieve is to be able to create a product and sell it to someone, when you get to that point, you've achieved what you set out to achieve. So everything before that is gearing you to achieve that.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that your goals cannot change.
Okay.
Because once you hit a particular achievement or a particular goal, you also want to think about, do I still want to continue in this path? What will be the next step? What do I now want to do? I have done this. What's the next thing to do? So you have to keep moving. Once you achieve certain goals, certain targets,
You have to.
you have to keep moving. If you don't, you stagnate.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing wrong in you stagnating if that is what you choose.
Okay.
Again, it comes down to intentionality. Am I being intentional about what I want to do? People say they want to retire at 40, at 50. They set those goals that, okay, at 40, at 50, I don't want to do anything. They want to be where they are. It's fine.
That's fine.
I don't think I want to retire at 60.
Yeah.
I like Warren Buffett. He's still working. But you're working on your terms.
Yeah. And I think when you are working in what is bubbling, what makes your stomach bubble, because it's your way of serving humanity.
Absolutely.
And it just goes on. That's what gives you, I don't know, agility and life, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the lifeblood in you.
100%. I don't see myself retiring early. I see myself being an entrepreneur. I'm a lifelong entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And it's all about the next thing once I have solved a particular problem. Because if I start to try and solve a problem today, and I haven't solved that problem for the next 40 years, I've been very unsuccessful. So you have to be able to solve, when you set out to solve a problem, you have to solve that problem. Then you move to the next thing, and you move to the next thing, and you move to the next thing.
Yeah.
So that is the path.
Yeah.
And if there's passion in all of the things you're doing, if you're actually enjoying what you're doing, you don't want to stop doing that.
Absolutely.
Because you like the ups and the downs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that speaks to, you know, really finding what makes you giggle. Like what can keep you awake at night, you know? Like you say, like finding the next problem and solving it and like keep going, like keeping on the quest. That's what I'm looking for.
I think people always think about this grandiose idea. I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't think about the grandiose idea. You live life in small chunks, in bits. You go to university because you want to graduate at the end of 4 years.
Yeah.
But you're not rushing 4 years. There is a process. You take one course here, you take two courses here, and that's how you start building it. That is how you should think about life.
Yeah.
You take it in small bits. It is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
There's some parts of it that will be a sprint. You want the fastest to get to that point. But it is a marathon. So you have to pace yourself. You have to say, okay, I'm going from this position to that position and going from that position. And that is how you grow. So once you do all of that, you then get to a point where you look back and you connect the dots and you discover that, okay, actually, I've done a lot. I encourage people to try and do a lot. Put your hands in many different pies over time. Because that way you become well-rounded. You have depth as well as breadth.
This is overtime, right?
Yeah, over
Not
time.
at once.
You can't do it at once. If you're trying to do it at once, you're just going to break. So you just have to start from somewhere and build and build and build, but also diversify.
I think that's so important, especially to the younger audience, because again, with social media and with comparing, you might have a focus in time, but because you feel like you should be juggling this and juggling that, you then take on a few things, if not many things, and it then becomes, like you said, overwhelming, frustrating. You're not seeing results.
And you're not good at any of them.
And you're not good at any of them. However, find something and hone in at it. Once you hone in at it, then you can move on to another thing to hone into.
100%.
And just, I think that singular mindset of focusing and mastering something is something that we might be missing because of how social media has just brought everything else to our face.
There's something you just said there, mastering. Once you discover that, okay, this is what I want to do, master it. Once you become a master in it, an expert in it, you can always add another thing to it, add another thing to it, add another thing to it. That is how you start to build breadth. But your mastery is all about depth. And that's how you should think about going into different things. People think success is overnight. You really don't get overnight success.
There's nothing like that, right?
I was looking at your profile, and you've been vlogging over 10 years.
Yeah.
Someone looks at one of your videos and says, "Oh, she looks very flawless." They don't know that there's 10 years behind that.
Yeah.
Now, someone says, "Oh, how can she be a vlogger and she's a pharmacist?" They don't know you've gone to uni to go and study pharmacy and you've worked 5 years afterwards.
Yeah.
So there are already two things that you're very proficient at.
But there's time behind that.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you're thinking of doing something else now. If you start a business, maybe something in tech, you now get proficient about. Someone sees you in another 5 years and like, okay, you know how to do this, you know how to do this. You're superhuman. You're superwoman.
But you're really...
But you have paid your dues.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of different things at different times.
Yeah.
And that's why you're where you are at that point in time.
Yeah.
You didn't just stumble in that.
Yeah. I think that's so key, to allow people to not be comfortable, but get comfortable in the fact that you are in a building season, in a honing season, in a mastering season. There's nothing wrong with that. And there would be an end to it where it then becomes second nature, and then you can pick up, something else. But being able to appreciate life in its stages is I think something we all need
social
to
media
remember.
has just ruined everything
Yeah,
for us.
really,
Everybody
really
wants to
has.
main character energy all the time.
Main character energy, that's the word. We all don't want to start from.
Yeah, everybody just
Hey.
wants to be there. I want to be in the spotlight all the time. But you don't just stumble on the spotlight.
And people
Walk
don't
towards
share
it.
that journey of
No, people don't share the journey.
because it's long.
Yeah, because people show you a day in the life of this person, a day in the life of that person, but that person is showing you the best parts
Yeah.
of their life at
Yeah.
that point in time.
Yeah.
That said, I don't like people crying to the public. Why are you crying to us?
Why did you edit your tears in here?
Keep your sadness to yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's social media. You're on low light platform.
Yeah.
It's where you share your highlights. You wouldn't expect everyone to be crying and saying this is my bad day. If anything, you should use those
No,
seasons.
people do it nowadays,
Yeah.
and you're just like trying to gather sympathy. But
Yeah, absolutely. And we can keep talking, but just speak to generally what does building your better you mean to you, and why is it important? As we round off this wonderful conversation.
if I think about that more deeply, building a better you, the first question I'll ask myself is, who am I? Do I know who I am now for me to build a better version of me?
So
And not many people know who they are. A lot of people are still in self-discovery and they don't know they're in self-discovery. So you need to get to a point where there is a foundation of who you are.
Yeah.
And then, okay, I want to now build a better version of this person.
Start from making sure that you know your identity.
Yeah. Who are you? So once you answer that question, and that's a loaded question,
It's
really.
extremely loaded,
Yeah.
right?
Like, what do I like? How will I behave in this situation? How will I react to this?
What am
Am
my
I
value
happy?
system?
What are my value system? What is foundational to me? What is purpose to me? All of those things. Once you can establish a foundation of where all of those are, then you can say, okay, right, I want to now evolve that person into this person, and then that's building a better you. And for you to go into that journey of building from one foundation to the next is all about learning. In the world we live in, there's so much to be learned.
Yeah.
There's so much content out there that you need to consume.
And we're not talking about education here. Like
No.
life.
This is lifelong learning. It's not school life. It is how to run a business, how to manage money,
Yeah.
how to deal with relationships.
Yeah.
Because the way I relate with you will not be the way I relate with the next person.
Absolutely.
I might have the same principles,
Yeah.
but the way we interact
It's
will be
different.
completely different. So that is part of intentionality. You have to be intentional about the way I relate with you and the next person. How do I manage my finances?
Yeah.
Am I just a consumer? Do I want to produce something? Do I want to keep money? Do I want to save? Do I want to grow money? Do I even love money?
Yeah. Do I care about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it just a means to an end for me? Or I wish money did not exist?
Yeah.
Or do I even know how it works?
Yeah.
That's learning. You have to go on that journey yourself. And health.
Yeah.
People ask me, why do I go to the gym? I say I just want to look aesthetically pleasing. I have no stamina whatsoever.
Just let me look good.
Just let me look good. But that is why I go to the gym. So some people go to the gym to be fit.
Yeah.
Some people go to the gym to look healthy. Some people go to the gym to be healthy.
Feel healthy. Yeah.
Some people go to the gym to look aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Everybody has
their
reasons,
why.
but you should know why you're doing certain things.
Yeah.
And you learn on that path. I think building a better you at the end of the day is being intentional about where you want to go to next.
Yeah.
And learning everything you need to learn along the way.
Yeah. And it's possible to go to that next version of yourself if you're willing to be intentional.
Yes. You have to be. Some people might just be born into wealth. You're not born into wealth. You have to be intentional about your life.
Yeah.
Even the people that are intentional, that are born into wealth, if they're not intentional, they cannot maintain the wealth.
Yeah.
That's why you see some people who have wealth and later down the generations, there's no wealth anymore.
Yeah.
So you have to be intentional about anything you do.
Yeah.
I think one thing is, I don't like regrets. If I do something, I know I have done it. Whether it was right or it was wrong, I have done it. And I take the consequences of it. Rather than saying, oh, yeah, I didn't mean to do it.
You did everything with intention.
Yeah. You have to do things with intention.
Yeah.
I stay clear of people that do things without intention.
Yeah.
Because if someone kills you now and says, oh, I didn't mean to kill you,
Yeah.
you're dead.
Yeah.
So you want it to be intentional. You want, okay, I wanted to do this and I did it.
Yeah.
It was not the best thing to do, but I did it. I take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
I apologize and I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Or I did it, it was successful, I'm happy about it. I take responsibility too.
Yeah.
For it.
Amazing. Thank you so much I hope you had a lovely time here.
I did enjoy myself. I wanted to ask you a lot of questions, but I don't know how we got to that point.
Over.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a part 2, who knows. But thank you so much. I hope you guys were able to take gems from this episode. I'm sure you were able to. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out another one. Where can we find you if they wanted to find you?
I'm on LinkedIn, Rotimi Alabi on LinkedIn. I don't have any other social media platform anymore. I deleted all of them just because I felt it was distracting. Yeah,
they are quite distracting. I think that's a fact. But thank you so much for coming. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Building Your Better You.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Cheerio. Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on today's conversation. Take a moment to reflect. What's one small move you can make today towards a better you? If you love this episode, it would mean so much if you hit the subscribe button, left a review, or shared it with someone you care about. Until the next episode, keep building, keep growing.